Ironwood Games. This is Andrew. Welcome to this week's Midweek Magic. It is Phantom Sealed, Caverns of Ixalan. So we're just gonna jump in and do it. As we get in, I will remind you, sealed is not always a strength of mine. I don't do them often on Arena. Really ever. In its pre-release time, I do them at the store. I don't. Usually, I'm running the event, and so if anything, I'm building a deck just to even out numbers, and I don't try often. Fabrication Foundry seems pretty good. So we're just looking at our rares here. But anyways, as I was saying, so as you guys are watching this, I know our last one we got some comments, some good feedback on that, and please, let me know because sealed is definitely an area, the deck building portion I don't get a lot of practice at, and could do better. So I appreciate you guys checking this one out. We're doing this one because it's the Midweek Magic. It's free. It's Phantom, so we don't get to keep these cards, but it's basically a free opportunity to practice some sealed deck building. Tap. Okay, so this goes into the tap archetype, which I really do like, the tap, because it's artifacts or creatures. And so that one would be really good. Fabrication Foundry also goes into that artifact piece. This just with creating a token can fit in there. So maybe we're looking at white artifacts, flyers, go wides. In that we have the Hulking Raptor, which is just fine. It's just not fine. It's a good vanilla, right? Without anything, or without its second ability, I guess, with the Ward 2 as a 5/3 for 4 is good. Add that Ward 2, and I think it's great. And then you get a little bit of ramp in it, which could be good in like dinosaurs if we have it. Belligerent. I'm not usually a fan of the vehicles in Ixalan stuff. Also, as a note, I have not done a lot of Ixalan. I think I did one pre-release sealed, and I've done 2 drafts. Maybe 3 drafts in the store, which I've done fine, but I definitely haven't seen all the cards, and I'm not familiar with all the archetypes. And I know we did the one video on here where we had, I think it was red-white artifact go wide, which definitely does help. All right, when this is created, you may look at the top card and make lands and cast spells from the top. That's not bad. Attack, create a treasure token, and then you can at least get the land off the top, or cast a spell. So, and this looks like it's going to be dinosaurs. Oh, okay. So we could look at maybe Naya dinosaurs with artifacts or something. We could look at maybe Jeskai, because this does count as an artifact. Pieces. Maybe there's a teamer build. But let's see what we've got in the commons and uncommons. As if all we have in white is those 3 rares, then it's not gonna necessarily make a difference. Let's see how we want to do this. Let's go look at any other 2-color or multicolor cards. So we had that one. We have Bartolome del Presidio, which is good. I think this is a fine one. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze here. Let me pause. All right, sorry about that. We are back momentarily. Okay. If I had the time and or an editor, we would probably edit that out, but most likely we're just going to have some awkward gap there where I had my sneeze. Let's look at the lands as well, just because the Cavernous Maw can be good, but you do need caves to make it work. The nice thing is it looks at caves in your graveyard, so Promising Vein gets a little bit better. I don't really like this card because the cost is, it's not just Evolving Wilds. You can tap it for colorless, so it does make up for it in that sense. But sometimes it can be a little bit slow as far as the fixing piece. So if you're running multiple colors, it's actually, I think, worse fixing because you got colorless until you have an opportunity to go fix. But again, I think it depends. It's, if you need it, can be good. But seeing as we only have the 2 caves, and you need 3 other caves for this to be on, well, that's not gonna happen, so we're probably not running Promising Vein. But we'll see at the end when I decide I desperately need a way to fetch a land, we may end up playing that. Buried Treasure is actually good. 2 mana to just fix for any mana at some point is not great. But the second part of the Discover 5 later in the game is pretty good. Plus you get your artifact triggers. So like if you are playing artifacts, it just sits there and taps. Compass Gnome, similarly, I think when I first read this, I thought it was going to be, a good, I think it's a medium card because it puts it on top of your library. And that was, when I first read it, it was just, oh, go get a land or a cave. Like, oh, that's good. But then it puts it on top, and so it's not always a great turn 2 play. Yeah, you guarantee a land draw, but it'd be much better. These kinds of things, similar effects that put it in your hand or put on the battlefield are definitely better. Where I'd rather have a 3-drop that puts it in my hand or puts on the battlefield tapped on that. But again, it can be useful if we decide like fixing is important on that. This can be good to get rid of any problematic things or against Descend type stuff. And it does have a Discover trigger. I don't know that I love it. Let's see. If we want to go artifacts, Crew 1 for a 3/3 that creates treasure is really good because it just expands our goes wide on that artifact thing. Which if we have the, if you have, and we'll see, I can't remember what they're called now, the creature, doesn't look like we have them. The sun, well, someone put in the comments that you tap 2 artifacts or creatures and deal a damage. That one can just finish out a game real quick if you can go really wide. Without that, I think that makes that archetype less appealing on it. Okay, and then again, this one is fine if you need to fill in, especially if you're like light on 4-drops and you need one, and it can get rid of a problematic card in a graveyard or a Descend type. Turn off Descend momentarily at least. Alright, so we have Gold Fury Strider, which is in that tap 2 archetype, but it only pumps itself. The guys, the red ones that deal the damage are really good in that archetype and where it's at. So we're just gonna go through real quick. Duskro's Reliquary is fine. I really liked what we had with white. I think this one's a good one. I think paying 1 to scry 2 and get an artifact on the battlefield is fine. I may be biased. Wishing Well is really one of my favorite cards as well, and so I think it feels similar to that, and that may be giving me a little bit of bias, but I can acknowledge that. Sunscribe is good in the tap archetype because it finds other ways to get tapped that way. Cosmium Blast. That's fine. This creates more artifacts to go wide. That's good. Explore. We saw that one. This one creates some artifacts is good in that wants to go wide. This can be good. Yeah, this can get back some of your things, some vehicles, and plenty of other things. So this one I think is good. Let's see. Oh, we might have more caves. They just didn't put the caves. They're putting them with the color instead of with the land in the way this is being sorted, which personally irritates me. But because this, even though it taps for blue, we all know lands are colorless, and so it's not a blue card, and it could just go with lands. But that would be me in a way that I would recommend that. And maybe there's a setting that you can do on it. I don't know. But that's my recommendation to Arena, is reset the way that does it. So yeah, just with that. Puzzle Door is fine. Spyglass Siren is pretty good if you want to go like flyers and that. This is good. Again, in artifact stuff, once you can get to Descend 8, Crew 1 is good. It has Vigilance and can't be blocked. And so can finish off a game and is fine. I like this Inverted Iceberg. So if you've been to the store and you've drafted with us, you know during pre-release I misread this terribly as Introverted Iceberg, so that is what I call this, and that's my favorite card, only for that reason of the idea of the introverted iceberg that just wants to be left alone. But I do think it's another good finisher. It looks like we have some decent maybe finishers. This is the blue equipment that I don't like. This equipment gets an explorer. Cool. This can attack when you've had artifacts enter, so something like Envoy that can just create an artifact can turn that on. Sage of Days is good. These ones that let you draw and discard, or look and discard, like Puzzle Door, Sage of Days, actually can be good because they do help get your Descend on, and like Descend 8 is getting there quickly, makes that much better. Water Wind Scout, I kind of like what we're seeing in blue. Doesn't look bad. So I might start with like maybe a white-blue build, but let's look at the rest. This guy is really good. I think one of the better one-drops. You just put him in and you get aggressive with him, because when he dies, you get good value. And usually your opponents will not, unless they can like make a trade, and get their own value, like if they have their own greedy freebooter, maybe, but they usually won't eat it until, in my experience, until they've taken a couple points, just because early on turn 2, letting you have that treasure and possibly get a 3-drop down, or a 4-drop on turn 3, like is usually really good for you. If Ascended, I don't love this card. but I think it could be fine if you really were there. But maybe I'm just not, haven't played that an archetype where it's good. And see, Echo of Dust seems fine. Fanatical Offering is good. Pathetic Draft. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. That's pretty good. At the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses. Yeah, that one's good. +1/+1 counter. That one's fine. This one lets you go wide. The enchantments that flip into lands, I have not been impressed with many of them. I haven't played with this in particular, just the general concept of them. I feel like the enchantment sides are often better, and the fact that they flip actually makes them worse. That the thing you're getting out of the land isn't worth it. But again, I haven't really played with many of them, especially not this one. That's just my read on it. Because giving a creature death touch and lifelink by attacking alone seems really, really good, but you only get to do that 3 times, and then then you get 3 dread counters. You remove them, so then you can over 3 turns draw a card and lose a life. And I'm just not sure. Again, I just may not have been in a deck. And I haven't played it. I may not just have been somewhere that's good. This one can be good if you've got caves. So we had the Hidden Necropolis and the Hidden Cataract. So if we went blue-black, like Descend, we might have enough caves to do things. Getting this down 3 would be 5 mana for a 5/5 lifelink, which isn't bad. Even 8 mana for a 5/5 lifelink isn't bad on that. All right. A Braid is really good in this set. There's a lot of artifacts. There's a lot of targets on it. I think this one is actually fine. Its backside seems to be pretty good of an effect, so if you're doing artifacts, I think I would consider that one. This one's good in artifacts. I'm never sure on this one. This one I often end up as like cutting my last cut because it's got the Discover 3, but then it's an aura. But the +1/+1 and trample is really good, and so usually I'm in the middle on that. We said this one's good. Just creates 1 treasure, but it's still pretty good. This is definitely in dinos, and I don't know that we've seen enough dinos. Is there anything in any of the creatures that were in blue that we liked that were dinos? No. And the same thing, I don't think anything we saw in white was a dino. We don't see a lot of dinos in red. So while it's good, I guess it does create its own dinosaurs off of artifacts, so it could be pretty good. We got to read the whole card. I think that one's good. Whenever you discover again. That's really good. And definitely makes the caves here much better when you can discover 4 twice. Panicked Allosaur's a dinosaur, so I do like that. We've got the Hidden Nursery. Dinosaur spell or activate the ability of a dinosaur. Capybara is good. Over the Edge seems good. Or you control another dinosaur. I kind of want to, there's decent dinosaurs here. Thrashing Brontodon is good. Again, in this set, I think there's plenty of targets. Colossodactyl, Reach and Trample is good. That one was our rare, that's good. The Spider's not bad. 3/4 for 4 with Reach is fine. And some let's start with a little dino build here. Putting in, I know we've got some other cards that might be good. I'm just trying to put in the dinos. Let's put in that enchantment. And that one, just to kind of see what the dinos look like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards. We have 7 dinosaurs, so that's why I think Lorekeeper is fine. Because these are, well, this is not a dinosaur, but 6 dinosaurs, I guess, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 dinosaurs. So I do think this is fine. Has enough things to hit on that. Let's build it out a little bit more. Let's say we would put in probably the spider. 2 times the spider seems fine. That seems like a fine trick. Probably 2 over the edge. Giving double explore trigger or getting rid of something seems fine. And I think we play the capybara. We'll come back to the lands because yeah, dinosaur, a braid seems fine. Not sure on dowsing device if we're doing enough artifacts on that, but let's see what else is good in red. And if we're doing dinosaurs, Daring Discovery seems pretty good. And I think this guy is fine. That puts us at an even 40 without too many tricks. Which looks pretty good. Did we put in the Gold Furry Strider? I guess we have 2 of those, and I'm saying, do we want 2 of those in? We don't have enough artifacts to make this good. We probably don't want to be tapping other creatures. I would probably cut it in favor of something else. Like Buried Treasure. Just for the Discover trigger. I think is just a better card in this deck. What are we missing in here as far as tricks? This is a sorcery, so it's not really a trick. Do we have let's, I guess, look here. We have 9 non-creatures. That's a sorcery. So we have instant, 2 instants. I think that's it. Yeah, so we got 2 tricks, a couple of other things to clear the path. Let's see, was there any black dinosaurs? I don't know if there's any black dinosaurs in the set. So I don't think we're missing any other dinosaurs. The other question then is, this looks pretty good. Do we want to bring in some white? White would give us access to like Cosmium Blast. The question is, it would also give us like Petrify and possibly the Duskrose Reliquary. What would we cut for those? And does that matter? Might of the Ancestors could be good. So there's a lot of like things that could be good here. The Kinjali's Dawnrunner, was just looking at and thinking that would be a great target for like Itali's Favor. Making this a 2/2 trample double strike just seems pretty good. Let's look instead at the blue. The double blue on the transform or the craft makes that a little bit questionable. So yeah, the question is like, because we could bring in, okay, let's bring in a little bit of the white removal. Knowing if it is the splash, that means it's likely harder to cast, so it's not necessarily going to be playable right away, but we can throw it up here just so we see what the curve might look like. Yeah, it's too bad this bird isn't like a dinosaur. Would make the Naiad dinosaurs just a little bit more interesting. Petrify is, I think, the other one we have. And Might of the Ancestors could be decent. There's definitely some really good white stuff here, and I'm wondering if it's worth cutting like the Capybara for like the Evangelist. Let's see, because I don't know. We don't have enough artifacts, I think, to make that good. The Scry 3 is fine. I just don't know if that's better than my other 5-drops. But it would be nice to have another 5-drop creature. Alright, let's bring them in. And let's bring in some of these creatures that are not bad. And see if they're better than what we have, and maybe it is. That gives us something to do late. We'll bring in Might. We'll bring in Evangelist. We'll bring that in to look at it. And I think we'll bring that in, because now it's a case of like, maybe the white's better than the green. Maybe the white's better than the red. Maybe we just play 3 colors. It is sealed, so sticking to 2 colors. I don't have a ton of like things that say like you must play dinosaurs. I think a lot of them are good, but let's take a look and let's find out. Triumphant Chomp deals 2 damage to target creature equal to 2 or the greatest power among dinosaurs you control, whichever is greater. So that's really good with dinosaurs. I think this is fine. If you never get to tap the things, I still think it's a fine like 1-drop. And some Explorer on that. This is the only one that becomes worse on this. Yeah, Capybara is interesting. I don't know that it's better. Again, we don't have a lot of 2-drops on that, because we have a Braid, Over the Edge ×2, and the Staggering Size and the Buried Treasure. We only have 2 2-drop creatures, but I think like Probably the Flying Vigilance better than the Capybara. Only reason I'd keep it, and again, I don't know. I haven't played again enough with these. I think to me the argument to keep it would be to stay in better color things. Maybe green is our late game splash, and we're red white. Because and then we get rid of like Lore Keeper as well. Because we have double greens, but they're all a little bit top heavy. All right, let's cut the Capybara. This one's artifacts, and we don't really have a lot of artifacts, so let's cut him. This guy's fine for color fixing, especially if we do say red, white, splash green. Whenever you cast an artifact spell. And again, we have 2 artifacts. It's not triggering on artifacts entering, creating treasures. I think that's a big maybe to us. I don't know that that's going to be good if we start doing like red white. We're just not playing artifacts. And I don't think it's worth, I don't know, maybe it is worth moving in and just doing red white and cutting green, bringing in Tote and Foundry and Sunscribe and Gnome. Maybe. Do we have, so the only question is, what do we have to deal with like flying? Because we definitely don't want to die to flying. But I don't think we need 2 of these. We have, if we bring in some of these other removals, gives us an opportunity there. I think those are all fine. 3 mana, 3/3 with potential to gain 3 life is fine. This is an interesting pool here, and I don't know. I think this gives us some power at the end to get through. I like all of these. I think we don't need 2 over the edge if we're going to have like the Thrashing Brontodon. But it could be, what are we at as far as our numbers? Yeah, we've probably got to cut creatures over anything. Let's cut one of those. This is interesting. All right, let's cut Lore Keeper. Trample. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cut some of these. We don't have enough craft for the gnome to be great. However, the tote could be better than like buried treasure. It doesn't give us the discover. I was looking at just trying to cut more green. Having something at the top just does seem good. I don't want to not have anything to do. Again, if we're not making the dinosaurs off of this, it feels like it's not necessary. I'm gonna build this so bad. I probably have like the right pieces here, and I'm just not seeing a way to put them together. So sacrificing like the buried treasure, that seems fine. Can we make 3 more cuts and make this good? I feel like at least one of those needs to be a green, and Armored Kincaller seems like we've cut too many dinosaurs for it to be good. Do we cut Guidewing? I think we do. I mean, this is a shock at the very least. I think it's worth keeping. Do we have... which one's this? Enough Discover triggers? We'll have 2 caves. 3, 4, 5. I think Sun's Creation is good. If you can get it out and get an extra trigger at least once, I think you get the value for it. We need to cut 1 more card. I don't want to count. So we're at 1410. It probably needs to be a non-creature. See, and this is where I say, like, Itali's Favored tends to be like a thing where I'm just like, well, it's not getting us there, like, on its own. We could also see the argument for cutting Thrashing Brontodon, but it does get rid of a really problematic artifact. The 4/5 Reach Trample. Is it Hulking Raptor? But that's so good too. Like, there's a lot of good things in here. All right, let's go add my lands. This is interesting. All right, we've got to make a decision here. And is it just Might of the Ancestors? 'Cause it's good, but I don't know if that's where we want to be on that. All right, we'll call that, I think, our deck. And do it. Again, leave us some comments. Let me know, what you think, what we should have done. We left a lot of good stuff on the table. So I don't know. We didn't even look at the blue or the black, really. So definitely just, like we've done, let me know what you think, where you could have maybe built that different. The other nice thing about the Midweek Magic Phantom event is I think we can rebuild this and play some more matches. So we may do that as well. We may try a couple of different builds and do that. But thanks for watching. We'll end the video here, and then we'll play some matches in the next one. And so we'll see you there. Thanks, everybody. Bye.